off is the minutes from May 9th.
So move, Larry.
Second. Comments on minutes? Colin?
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Yes. Yes. The June 1st special meeting minutes?
So move. Second.
Discussion? Colin?
Yes. Yes. Aye.
Yes. Yes. May financials? Everybody have a chance to review them?
Yep. So move. Second. Approve.
Discussion? Yep. Colin?
Yes. Yes. Aye.
Yes. Yes. We're gonna jump to number 8, just for you guys, come on up. I know you wanna get out of here.
We're happy just to sit down.
Oh, we can put you back there, so
Okay, so I think I sent you everything, right, but we're just gonna discuss that one lot, Larry?
Yes.
Yes, and that's all I sent them, so that they weren't confused.
Okay. So we've been approached by, the owners of the adjacent lot to this one about purchasing it from the county. The county doesn't have taxes on it, but the city has specials on it, so that's why we're here to, talk to you guys about that. Hyatt own these lots here. They said that they do mow and their kids play back here, so they were interested in buying just that area. I kind of told them that in order to do that, they would probably have to resurvey it.
Mhm.
So they'd be better off just buying the lot as it is, because the value's really not gonna change, because this part doesn't really have any value on it. So I think there's a value of like 300 or something on there for
Right.
taxable value. So, they were fine with that. The thing is right now, there's, specials on there are $7,176.59 is what's owed. And this is one of those lots that we've kind of been visiting with the city about, that probably never should have had specials on it, but they were put on these lots, and then that's why they come back to the county. And when the county gets them back, we offer them back to the city. Normally, the cities buy them back, but Washburn didn't, and like I told Larry, this was back before I was auditor, so I don't know how that was handled or what.
So is there any water or anything on there? You said specials? What kind of specials?
Street.
The street improvement, I believe.
Mhm.
I think there's 3 of them on there.
Oh, 5 of them.
Yeah, that's a street, yeah, they're all street.
Yeah, they would all be streets, right?
Right.
Correct.
So no water or utilities or anything in there?
No. Mm-mm.
Those are separate specials from water.
These are just part of the city.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so I visited, well, Larry and I sat down with Dave, and Chelsea was here too, and Michaela. And Hyatt's would like to buy it, like I said, because they want to use that area behind there, but they also want to own it. So they were, wondering about the specials, and I believe the balance is like 8,000 and something.
Yes.
8,000, and so that would be the amount that's still owed on these specials above and beyond this 7,000. So I visited with Larry about, forgiving these specials that are already on here, that way we can make the sale. And then they are gonna bid on the property, which I've already talked to them about, and they were talking around 5,000. So I told him that would be the city's money, we wouldn't keep that, so that would go right towards the 8,000 that's owed, and then they would pay the additional 3,000 and whatever over the next, it would just be re-amortized on their
Okay.
taxes.
On this piece of property.
Yes.
Right.
So the benefit of it is it goes back on the tax rolls for you guys, and somebody owns it.
Okay.
We don't want it, you guys don't want it, so.
How much land is down there?
I don't know what the total acreage is,
It's basically a coulee.
yeah,
Right.
it's a coulee, so, I don't know, you have the picture of it, I'm
Yes,
assuming, but
Yeah, I do, but
So like he said, they mow this little area, their kids play back there, so that was the area they were interested in, but they were willing to purchase the whole area.
is it worth anything?
The value on it right now, I think, generates $5 in taxes a year if it would be taxed, so.
On this other sheet here, what is it's got the grand total of 41,000, is that for all those different ones
That's for all
together?
those lots
Okay,
together, yeah.
okay, that's
Yeah.
that's not.
So you just wanna look at that total line right underneath.
Right, okay,
Yeah,
got
that's
it, okay.
just for this lot.
Got it,
And like I said, we would forgive the penalty and interest and cost you guys would forgive the specials, and then, like I said, anything they paid for the sale would come straight.
So what's the $10,194 then?
That's just the total of all three of those columns for all those years.
Is that just for that one lot?
Mhm.
That's the one that is outlined there, right?
Right, yep.
And they understand that there might be some maintenance with the rest of it sometime, maybe, if there's a problem. You know, they're buying the whole lot,
Mhm.
that whole coulee, you know.
Yep, they understand that they'll
Okay.
own the whole.
Yeah, they're responsible for.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I
Yeah.
just wanna make sure that they understand that.
With anyone that would buy a lot. they're
Right.
responsible.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. I just didn't know if they were told that or not.
It's a 3-acre lot.
Mhm.
Well, I don't see it going anywhere else, at least it gets it back on the tax roll, so I would move that we would do it.
So how much would the taxes be on that 3 acres in a year then?
We have a motion on the table, though.
Yeah, I know, but I still have a question.
Well, we have a motion on the table, we'll wait for a second, then we can.
Then we can discuss it.
I'll second it.
Okay, now,
Then we
Don,
can
go ahead.
discuss
How much would the specials on it be then?
Well-
Would you have specials on it every year then?
Well, until these are paid off, I'm assuming, and like I said, the balance on all 5 of these right now totaled together is around 8,000 something. So you would get that 8,000, you would recoup,
Right.
so.
And then, there's not much, but potentially, if they wanted to, they would have room
There's room to
build a
if they would
garage or
want it.
something on it, if they,
Exactly.
and that would add value to that lot as
Right.
well.
Right.
Yeah, and like I had said, they wanted just that little area, but a survey for that's gonna be more than the lot.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly.
So that sort of was like, well, if we have to do that, then we don't want it. So then
So they have to resurvey it then?
if they would want to build on there,
If
I
they
mean,
would
they
want it.
wouldn't have to now that they own the whole lot. But if they would want, you know, if they had wanted to just buy a little chunk out of there, then they would have to
Have to
survey.
survey,
Well, we
okay.
require that, I guess, I don't know what the city does, but we require a survey just because it's,
And they were
It's
buying it
clear
from you,
then.
so they.
Yes.
right, right.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and then there would be just a little bit of taxes every year on it, right?
yeah, and that's the thing, like I said, it
Yeah, it
gets back
won't-
on the tax roll, and you
Yeah.
don't own it, and we don't own it, where then it's exempt and nothing's being done with it. you
Who
know.
has the title for it now? You guys?
We do, yeah, it came back on taxes.
And then you would transfer it to,
We do like a bid process, which they have the paperwork for that, so they'll fill that out with the amount that they're gonna pay, and like I said, we've discussed 5,000, and they were fine with that. I'm gonna have it on the agenda for the next meeting if the motion passes, and then,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
and then, from there, the commission will approve it, we'll
Okay.
sell it to them, deed it to them, and then you guys would get that information from us.
okay.
They have different rules for selling than we do,
Yeah.
so this is the way.
Yeah, if we
I'm just
sell-
asking because I'm confused here.
Yeah, I'm just,
If
yeah.
we sell it to them, we can deed it to them right away. If we sell it to you, you guys have to hold it for 90 days before you can sell it. And we can just put it up for sale at any time because we've already had it on a sale, or I believe you guys would have to advertise.
We'd have to advertise, yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
So if we do
Okay.
it that way where we
Okay.
sell it back to you guys, it's a little more process and
I
work
didn't
for you.
understand the procedure behind it.
Yep,
But essentially, the money's still coming back to the
right,
city.
because we
Right.
don't, they don't owe us anything.
Right.
So then the money
The
comes.
streets are ours, so
Right.
that was the improvements
Yep.
for, on the street stuff.
And with
Okay.
them owing specials on it, that's where the money goes to, not.
Adam
not-
has his hand up.
Somebody mentioned that they could build a garage on it or whatever. They wouldn't be able to do that because it doesn't have a residential building on it, so they would have to be.
They would have to combine lots to
Yeah,
build the garage.
I just thought I'd clarify that.
Very good.
Yes, that's true.
Very good, yeah.
Which they would come to you guys and
Exactly.
at that point, you
Yeah.
guys could explain all.
Good catch.
But, yeah, just saying if they wanted to, that would potentially
And I
add the
don't even
value
know what
to
it-
the piece of land coming back to the
Right.
city.
It almost looks like there's a hill there, like down to this
Okay,
level.
right.
I don't know what, I've never.
If it's doable.
Been back there, yeah. So,
Okay, any other questions? Okay, we do have a motion in a second. Colin?
Yes. Yes. Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you
And
for
like I
coming.
said, I will put this on the agenda for next Tuesday. They're gonna bring their offer in, and then I'll let you guys know how.
Thanks
it
for
goes from there.
explaining it. I didn't
No
understand
problem.
it.
And if you have any other questions about it, that come up, call me at lunch. No, I'm just-
Tomorrow, right? You're not busy tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll be in the office tomorrow.
Okay,
Thank you.
Gaming site authorizations, first one, the Legion for the Riverport Saloon. I will move to authorize the gaming site for the Riverboat Saloon.
I will second that.
Discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes. Second site for the American Washburn Leader Captain's Cabin.
I move we accept it.
Second.
Discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes. Third site for the American Legion, the Memorial Hall.
I'll move we accept that.
Second.
Discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes. Police contract. Mr. Doctor?
Yep. This year, they had a joint meeting in Underwood with, for all of the communities to bring their questions and concerns, not only with the police department, but it was with pretty much every department. And, probably went a couple hours, maybe, Chelsea?
Yeah.
Something like that, so. And I think just about every community was, represented there. It was, very informative, really good questions that were asked. This contract won't probably even come close to the increases that they're going to incur this year, so. The Sheriff's Department, the 9 or 7 months I've been working with them as a commissioner has been really good. They've taken care of everything I've asked them to do as far as parking ordinances, that type of thing, so. I guess at that point, I would make a motion that we would accept this contract for the next year.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, the next one, the walking trail by Super Value. Chelsea has pictures. Pictures were originally taken a couple years ago.
Here are the originals that were taken a couple of years ago, and then I did have Adam take some new ones today, just so that we could, kind of see if it's changed or not.
These were caused by their delivery trucks driving on and then backing up, so, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. There were stakes put up, and then you guys went and put even more up, correct? So they couldn't access it at all. But we have had some people ask if it's gonna get fixed or what's happening with it, and so I figured we needed to readdress it after you had written a letter previously.
I had, I think it was an unofficial letter that I had sent down, you know, and we never did get a response, but I think the city needs,
I think we should
Yeah.
fix
I think
it.
the city needs to send them a letter.
That
you know,
probably
inviting
can't
them
help
possibly.
anything, you know what I'm saying?
You're talking Super Value.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to finish.
Yeah.
So, I think we need an official letter from the city saying, you know, they need to be responsible for this, and, you know, if they wanna come to a meeting, they're more than likely, they're welcome to come to a meeting, you know, and talk to us about it. But either, you know, tell them, you know, you are gonna be responsible for fixing it.
Right.
Whether we do it in necessity or whatever, so. So I'll make a motion that we send them a letter.
Second.
Discussion?
In your comments there, Mike, that's the only spot where that thing is broke like that, though.
I don't think so. Isn't there some by you, sir?
But I mean,
Or
This
highway?
is what was damaged by somebody else.
Right, but I'm saying, isn't that crack farther down in that low spot, farther to the southeast?
but this is right across from the
Yeah.
next road.
Yeah, you can see where the tracks went across.
Well, that may be, but the, you know, the motion is
Yep.
for this.
Yep.
So, where were we? Voting, right? Or no, there's still discussion.
Yeah.
So, and if there's further cracks, then we would deal with that other than this.
Right.
That's
It's a separate issue.
a separate issue, right. So, Colin?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes, you can hand them back to Chelsea, and we'll get together and get the appropriate letter together. Are you caught up, Chelsea, or?
Yes.
So has everybody driven down by Riverside Park? There's a massive erosion issue going on down there. The bank is basically sliding. pictures. You know, has everybody driven down there?
Yep.
So we're all aware of it,
Yeah.
right? So, I'm thinking we should hire Chris to come in, dig a hole and see what's there.
You talking about right off the asphalt down?
Right, we'll start on the gravel.
Right.
And hopefully find something, see if it's a water issue or might even be a low water issue, who knows, you know? So, who knows, but I think that's what we need to do, so.
In other words, take some test holes.
Take the test hole. So I'll make a motion that we hire Chris to do that.
Second?
Because this is slough off is what it is, and it's depends on what moisture we get, how dry it is one year, how wet it is one year. It's just, slough off is what it is.
Well, it's
And I
been
don't know if you're
there
gonna cure
forever,
it.
But, yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, who knows,
You know, I don't know if we're ever gonna cure it.
yeah. Well, we gotta find out. so,
Yep, I'm just saying,
Yep.
it's like concrete's always gonna crack, guaranteed.
Any further discussion? Colin?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes, can you get ahold of Chris on that? Yep. Okay, thank you. Next is update on street repairs. So, we've always wanted to, or we have those issues, you know, across the highway, up by Cenex, those streets, you know, and it's always been the biggest bitch by everybody that they wanna know, instead of just being surprised when they get the bill, they wanna know what it's gonna cost. So I would like to authorize our engineers to come up with a updated cost estimate, because we already kinda have the estimates, but we need an updated cost estimate so that we can put this stuff together and get it mailed out this fall to our residents. And then hopefully go ahead with some street projects coming up, you know, in the next year or two. Because people have been complaining,
They have.
so. So that's my motion, or my motion will be to, have A2S update their costs. Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, yes.
Is this an informational letter, or will it be part of the procedure for actually, like the official procedure for moving forward with the project? I say that because, to be able to form an assessment district and start doing some of the steps, that letter can be part of that.
I see.
And you don't have to decide that now, we can think about that, before we get to the point of sending it out.
Well, didn't we get some preliminary figures before on this? I mean, some kind of a
Yeah,
rough costs, you know?
Yeah,
if
we would just need to update the cost, because
Right.
there's been some
Right.
inflation. And then I don't recall, calling off the top of my head, if we had, divided it out.
I don't know if it was divided, but I
We
think.
did it. I think that would come after this, that we would form the district, and, you know.
But we
and
can
then-
come up with, I mean, based on
Yeah, right.
lots or square footage or
Should we be grandfathered in on the old cost?
I think we had everything plotted out for the streets too, didn't we? It was all clumped together. It wasn't just redoing just an overlay. It was,
No, it was,
It was the
some
whole-
was, you know, milling, some was overlay, some was.
right, with the
Complete
base and stuff.
rebilling, and, yeah.
It's just how big of area we were going to do. I don't know if we ever decided exactly what we were going to do.
Well, we basically, pretty much all the
Just
residential
paved
on the other
streets
side
right
of the
now.
highway, and then everything up by Sunnyme.
Well, we just need to get an idea what
Yeah.
that project cost is gonna be. We can take that information, figure out, who's involved, or that district, whatever. Give them a rough idea. They don't need to, down to the exact penny, but it'd be nice to know, am I gonna spend 5,000 specials or 30,000 specials?
Right.
That's what they're looking for, or what I would expect to see.
Just on existing streets right now.
Does that answer your question?
What we're gonna do isn't gonna change that much, but if you're sending the letter out to just to gauge interest about whether the residents wanna do a project, you could do that, or you could start the process of forming a special improvement district, and then also, which part of that is, doing a public
Right.
You can do it, you can do both, I guess, but you might know ahead of time then, if you send it out just as an informational piece, it might help you gauge whether the project's even gonna go forward through not get protested out.
Right. Well, one way or another, it needs to be done, but, I mean, if people protest it out, then they just gotta live with it.
Right.
You know, I don't know what the best way to do that is. That's what you're doing.
Well, either way, it would be nice to get some
It would be.
updated estimates.
Yeah.
You know.
We don't need to decide that tonight, as far as, let's get the estimates updated and
Okay.
let's figure out what the
Figure out from there.
costs are gonna be for lots or however we do it, then we can talk about how we proceed. from there.
Right, because I would like to, at very minimum this fall, get letters sent out, and then hopefully, maybe we could, if everything goes well, maybe even do a project next year, who knows? Maybe.
And follow the same, like we did before, everybody in the town gets a percentage of it, right? That's what they did before.
That's what I would recommend, but that's up to the special assessment committee.
Okay, because that's what
That's
the
generally up to
president
them.
was set already.
Well, yeah, president can change.
Yeah, I guess I've seen all kinds of different ways that
Yep.
assessment has been done, so.
And are we gonna have to reform a special assessment committee, or?
They are
some-
on for X number of years. I think it's 6 years.
I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, I think when I was looking stuff up on assessments, I think they're on for 6 years. So, anyway, so the motion was to, have our engineering firm, and I believe we have a second already, so, Colin?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Yes. Cool.
Did you second that?
I did not.
Hmm?
She said, did you second that? And I said, I did not.
No.
You did before too.
Yeah, okay.
So, these pictures here, we have a contractor that cut a curb for a driveway, without getting a permit
If they weren't.
before he did it.
That's good.
Basically, ordinance 133 states, it shall be unlawful to construct, reconstruct, alter, grade, repair any public street, sidewalk, curb, gutters, blah, 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 without first securing a permit. He did not do that. Basically, if you fail to comply with the provision of this ordinance, it's punishable with a fine up to $500 or by imprisonment, not to exceed 30 days or both. So, obviously, we're not gonna throw him in jail. But I think we need to, make a example that we are willing to follow our ordinance.
I agree.
Well, we also require a $750 deposit for cutting of the curb.
And after I talked to him, he did come in, and
He did come in and get a building permit, yes.
did he put in a deposit or not?
He did not, no.
He did
Because it
not.
hasn't, normally they'll put it in, but no, he didn't, he just filled it out and.
Where is this?
Okay. It's up,
Up by the bank, north of the bank, right?
yeah, it's on Fourth Avenue, and up from the bank there. So, like I said, I really think we need to, set an example here. I would like to
No. Huh?
It's not working.
Or the lot, I guess.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jasper Klein. I'm filling in for Eric. He's on military leave.
Do you know everybody here?
I do not know this gentleman here.
Probably a good thing.
Probably a good thing you don't know me, because
This
I
one or
give
that
Eric a
one?
lot of crap.
Okay.
Which one, this one?
Yep.
You wanna introduce yourself?
No, you introduced me. Don Simon.
We've met,
Mike,
I met
yep.
you many years ago.
Yeah, a long, long time ago.
Yep.
When I was much younger and had more hair. But, yes.
Like all
That was a long time ago.
Most of us.
Yeah, and I think we've met briefly before.
Yes.
You know, next time you come, you gotta bring that gal with you, just like Eric does.
Duly noted. Yeah, Eric had sent up the agreement for the Rough Rider Road drainage improvements. I don't know how he typically does it, if it gets included in the packet or isn't, but, I know that's been looked at, what's that?
I don't know that I saw that.
I don't know if that came out. I didn't see it yet.
He had sent that, and I had told him, I said, we probably weren't going to address it at this meeting.
Okay,
Um,
that's fine. But I'm the one out of the loop here.
Right,
I don't need,
right.
we can wait till Eric gets.
Yeah, so,
I didn't know Larry, so.
yeah, that's fine, that's fine. It's Eric's fault.
Okay, so thankfully I have something else.
Good, yeah.
This includes you, Adam as well. So some new regulations are coming out, or some updates to the lead and copper rule that will affect the city of Washburn and every community across America. So you guys are shaking your head like you have some knowledge of this, so.
Nope.
One of the things we do know right now is that you will be required to do a lead service line inventory. Every community will have to do that by the fall of 2024. One of the nice things, I guess, as of right now is through the State Revolving Fund program that the DEQ administers, they are providing some grant funding to help pay for that to happen.
To inspect, you mean, or to?
Do
Okay.
however it gets done.
Okay.
So, right now, the DEQ through the SRF program is accepting, I'll call them applications, for funding, for that type of funding that are due July 1st. It's coming up quick. So, one thing that we wanted to present tonight was just permission to at least submit something for Washburn, so that you're out there, and the need is identified. The state is wanting to identify $28 million worth of needs so that they don't lose any of their funding. So I think it would be good to get on the list, and you can kind of decide later how you go about doing the actual inventory side of things.
Makes sense to me.
We don't have to take the lines out, do it?
Yeah, eventually you are going to have to.
Really?
Washburn doesn't have that many of them, I don't believe anymore, but, yeah.
No, is it gonna be required to take them out or just abandon them?
No.
I mean, leave them there and just bypass and a new
Well,
line?
yeah, you could, yeah.
You don't have to
put
pull it
in
out
a
of the
new
ground, is
service
what I'm
line
saying.
all the way into the house.
Right, right.
So, which isn't typical of what municipalities are required to do, but for this, usually you end it at the property line or wherever your, however it works in your particular city, but, and you don't go onto the private property, but they will be requiring the cities to replace it all the way into the house.
Into the house, yeah. We all knew it was coming years ago, but,
Yep.
yeah.
So that'll be the city's cost also, put it into the.
Well, hopefully there'll be some funding for
Right.
that as well. We did a project last summer already that had some line replacement grant money, and we didn't end up finding that many on the project, but we did replace them all the way into the house, and it wasn't as painful as we thought it would be.
I will move that we allow our engineers to put in that application for us.
I'll second.
And I'm sure you're staying on,
I'll second.
Okay.
sorry.
The second, or whatever, okay, second, discussion, Colin?
Yes?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
And I guess you're probably aware too, but your frequency that you're gonna have to do sampling is going to probably increase dramatically.
Yeah, geez, you're kidding.
And one thing they're saying is normally small systems, like City of Washburn-sized communities, they always delay the requirements for those communities, but it doesn't appear they're going to do that for this round of regulations.
So it's all coming from the feds?
Yeah, the EPA.
They got lots of money. They've got lots of money.
Just keep printing it.
Anything else for us?
Nope.
Wow.
Good.
You're
Thank
too
you.
easy, man. So, well, but you know what, we got work for you to do, so, well, it's good
Yeah,
you're here.
well,
So,
sounds good.
okay. Any questions for, Justin?
Nope. Good to see you again.
Thanks, Jasper.
Yep. I'll stick around. I haven't been up here for a few years to a meeting, so might as well sit through the rest of it.
There you go. It's not gonna be much longer, hopefully, so, Colin?
On behalf of the airport board, we have a vacant position. I did receive a letter from a Mr. Neil Cattermas, interested in being able to fill that position on the airport authority. So
Make a motion.
I guess I make a motion that we appoint Neil Cattermas to the airport authority.
Second?
Discussion? Colin?
Yes?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Find it here, we got some pricing on some actuators for the water plant. Ones that are in there, I guess we'll just say they're nothing less than problematic. Is that a good phrase?
Yes.
Are they just getting wore out, or what?
The gray ones?
Yes.
They're old.
I was told by a supplier that they were, quote, shitty, unquote. But we have a quote for a different type.
Yeah, these are Kenetrol, which, I know, those are pretty familiar.
Yeah, like Kenetrol, the been rock solid.
Yeah. So, what are we at, 1778 plus freight per actuator. Do we have a count on what we can get by with, or what do we need?
Well, we have about 50 actuators down there, but we have the most problems with about 6 of them. We should just go with 6, and then if other problems pop up, then we could probably look at other ones later.
Are all those just open closed? Okay.
Yep.
How much are they again, did you say?
Well, you figure about 1780, well, figure 1780, $1,800 piece.
$1,800,
You know, 1850 probably with freight.
Oh, we need them.
So roughly $11,000, so, I think we need them, so I make a motion that we purchase, what did you say, 6 of them?
6.
6 actuators for roughly $11,100.
Who's gonna put them in then?
We should be able to do it ourselves.
Can you do it yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Further discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see, I think I got anything, I got nothing else.
Clayton stopped today and the siren up at the school, it either rings and doesn't turn, or it turns and doesn't ring, but one way or the other.
It rings.
It rings, but it doesn't turn.
Yeah, I know, it rings.
Okay. Always in the same direction.
Yeah.
Towards
Yeah.
Larry.
Well, no, that can't be right, because they're like, whatever.
Okay, and then he said the one up here isn't working either, is that right?
I can never tell.
Okay, and I guess I haven't been paying attention, so.
I hear them, but am I hearing that one?
Right.
Or, you know, because I'm usually typically inside, so,
Yeah,
and I can't see them.
so he said with storm season approaching, was looking for some guidance to, I believe he said Dakota Communications works on them.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that, Larry?
Yeah, I believe so, you know, I think the fire department's always pretty much taken the lead on this.
Okay.
I think, did Clayton say if he would be interested in
Yeah.
following up?
He was just looking for basically the go-ahead to do it, so.
Want to make a motion?
Yep, I will move that we, give the authority of the fire department to check out our sirens and get them repaired. The only question is that, do we want to put a dollar amount before we would want to?
I think if you add to it just that, you know, if it's a super major expense, then they need to come back.
If they need to be replaced or
Yeah.
just serviced.
Yeah. What do you have there, Chelsea?
Doctor motion to give the fire department authority to repair, siren.
Yeah, civil defense sirens, yeah. And then you could probably put in there if replacement is needed to notify the city.
Okay.
Okay. Does that sound okay?
I'll second that.
Okay, thanks.
Colin?
Yes?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Then the other, just a thought I had is, I don't know how, like, when July comes around, when we reorganize, as far as how it is done, and, I know in different boards and stuff that I've sat on, is that the president or the chairman or whatever had the authority to appoint who he felt was appropriate people to certain committees or different things like that. And I was just wondering how we go about, because if you go by seniority, that isn't always the greatest thing, because it doesn't necessarily mean that you get the best people in the best positions. So, just getting some feedback and thoughts on how do we reorganize normally, as far as, portfolios and positions and things like that.
What we have been doing is basically, yeah, it's kind of been a seniority thing. The Century Code does allow us to, you know, set up our own way of doing things.
Mhm.
You know, it's not set in stone how
Right.
things actually go.
Right.
And I think you might be onto something there. You know, we don't know who's gonna be here next month.
Right.
I think if we do go with that, it would behoove me to talk to everybody, see what they're interested in, and then
Right.
kind of go from there.
Yeah.
You know, as like a first choice, second choice type of thing. I mean, if we decide to go with that.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess looking at a, you know, more of a cleaner thing, like, I use my experience at the school, the school board president would there were 6 committees, he would contact the 6 members, see what they were interested in, you knew what their strengths and weaknesses were. You know, like, you're in buildings, you've got knowledge of buildings and stuff like that. Like, I was on transportation because of my profession, you know, type of thing. And, you know, kind of tried to fit people in the best places so that they could best serve, you know, the school and in this case, the city. So, just wondering what your guys' idea was of giving Larry the latitude to basically visit with each of us, see what our interests were, you know, see what our strengths were, and then appoint appropriately to the different portfolios across the board. So, any thoughts, Mike?
Could we also, or maybe, like HR has 2 people, could we have 2 people on other, you know, like buildings and grounds? You know, could we do something like that?
Well, I was gonna tie on to that, I think you and I visited briefly about that, and that is, up there we had committees, you know, where we had, you know, of course, we could have 3 people on a committee, because we had 7 without having a quorum. But the idea I had shot off of Mike and then later Larry, and was that, you know, you could still have your portfolios, but then you could have someone else, you know, appointed with you, like, say, you would have the building portfolio, and then I would be, you know, with you on that, so that if you were gonna have a meeting or something like that, and you wanted another set of ears and another thought process, then I would come alongside you. And then the same thing with me, so you'd have your portfolios, but you would also operate as a committee also in doing things. The only thing is you would probably be subject to open meeting laws, which isn't that big a deal. When you were gonna get together with a group, you would just advertise it, and the paper never shows up, but at least you would be covered.
Right.
You know,
Right.
type of thing. So that would be the only stigma on it, is that I'm pretty sure you'd be open meeting, because that's what we did there at school. All of our committee meetings were announced with the open meeting law. No one ever showed up, but at
Right.
least we were covered as far as, you know,
Right.
the legality part of it. But I just thought that way, I know there's times with me, I wish I had another guy to shoot something off of, you know, where you're working on this and doing that type of thing. So, thought process there.
Thoughts?
Outgoing commissioner?
I like that idea.
Yeah, so.
Okay. What do you think?
I have seen that in other smaller communities where for the portfolios, that they do have 2 people listed. point person, but there's still two people for each portfolio.
And that's kind of what I was looking at, like, at the school, there was 7 board members, there were 6 committees. I'm only using the example because that's where I had the most experience. There were 6 committees, so the board president was on some of the committees, but he wasn't the chairman of any of them. The opportunity to chair all 6 of those committees was given to the other 6 board members. And it would be kind of the same thing here, using Mike as an example. If he was building and grounds, and then I came alongside of him on that committee, you know, he would be basically the chair of that, where he would call the meeting, he'd call me, and he'd whatever, and then he's the one that would report back, you know, at the meeting. Is that kind of what you saw, that whoever had the portfolio would be kind of in charge of the thing, as far as the reporting back and that type of thing?
I don't recall if there was specifically,
Right.
like, you're in charge of this portfolio. I think it was more natural that somebody sort of just took the lead on
Right,
certain things.
yeah, so, but I guess I'd like to see us, I'm kind of an organization freak, so I kind of like to see, you know, that, I like proper, you know, that type of thing, and I just think it runs cleaner and smoother, so.
You don't think it's run clean now?
No, I'm not saying that, I'm just
Okay.
saying there's always room for improvement as we go forward, so.
What I have found on some of this stuff, it's hard to be there when you have a full-time job, and there's nobody else to lean on to either show somebody something, or, it's sometimes time restraints, you know, is a problem.
Yeah, because like with Mike in the building there, he's had me, they've dropped stuff off for me, and I pass it
Yeah.
on to Mike, because I'm right there, you know,
Right.
type of a thing. So it's just kind of a way of helping each other out, so.
Yeah.
And then Larry could, or whoever, you know, Larry for now, but the chairman then would visit with everybody, try to fit people in the right position that would be there, see where their interests are and strengths are, and make those appointments, so.
I think I'd be fine with that.
If we need a motion to go ahead and give that a try, I would do that, so.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table.
Second.
Discussion? Don?
I don't know, I don't know if we have to be that technical on these committee things. I don't know, it's,
Well, I think it's not just committees, but it's portfolios and.
For portfolios and
you know.
Well,
You have
I think
to be that formal,
I think
though.
what it's designed to do, Don, so you don't just take somebody that comes in as a new commissioner, and you just gets, you know,
Blasted.
all of a sudden just, well, here's the only thing left here, we're gonna throw this at you, and the guy might not know anything about it.
And you might know something about something else.
Right, exactly, so it's, I think, and I agree with Tim, you know, to give Larry that option as a chairman, to at least, you know, look at, analyze, talk to the incoming commission members, and maybe, you know, there might be a better fit for buildings and grounds versus police and fire, you know.
so didn't Larry do that when he handed out the things when I came on and, the other one?
No, I think what happens typically, what I see is, you know, when I got on, there was, water and sewer and
Buildings and grounds.
Buildings and grounds, so,
So
I mean,
that's-
you took that and I took water and sewer, and that was
Yeah.
really what it is.
Yeah, because you had more experience with water.
Right.
So, yeah.
You know,
But it would've been nice
sometimes-
to have a backup to buildings and grounds, because
Right.
you're going in there cold.
Right. And then when you got on, Don.
Because there's continuity that way.
Yeah.
And when you got on, it was Marv and you, and Marv said, well, I'll take police and fire and that, well.
Right.
The only thing left was.
HR.
The only thing I'd like to see is, if we're gonna do that, is to have them overlap. So that whoever's on the committee with you would either be the new one or vice versa.
Right,
So that
you
they.
don't go out of term at the same time.
Exactly.
Right.
So if we could do that,
I mean, but.
Maybe,
but-
maybe not,
But
but
with as
yeah,
few
we
people,
can
with
shoot
few
for it.
people that are.
yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it might be the last priority versus lining up the right people.
Right.
And I see your point in that.
Because then, whoever's coming in would be already
Right.
up to speed.
Right. And
What
that's-
you're trying to do.
That's the same reason why we're not all elected at the same time, so
Yep.
continuity carries, but I don't know whether we can carry that through this.
It might not
I
work
get-
in every case, but.
No,
But if you can.
But effort.
Yeah,
It's
a good-
something to try.
Right.
It's a good idea, Mike.
Yeah.
In response to you, Don, I guess I feel the more we have our ducks in a row, the smoother things go. I'm not a
Yeah.
seat of the pants guy, so I
But,
like
yeah,
to
I
have,
know,
I like to
but,
have things orderly and.
Ducks in a row are right now, are in a row, I think it's working pretty smooth, but maybe I'm wrong,
you know, so-
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying it isn't running smooth, I'm just saying, in my life, there's always room for improvement, so, you know.
Yeah, I'll
Any
try
other-
anything.
Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion, Colin?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
that's all I've got, Larry.
okay. Commissioner Hurt?
I'm working on the lighting a little bit in the Memorial Hall. We wanna try a dome over that light, so if you look up, you're not looking right into it where it blinds you. I know you haven't looked at it yet, Larry, but it really brightened up that corner quite a bit. Rhonda, did you happen to be in there in that corner over there when it was on?
No,
Nope, not yet, okay.
not yet.
Okay, because you had mentioned it before, it was so dark over there, but there was a circuit breaker that had been blown. That's why the lights didn't work over there, so,
I did see it, and it actually might be a little too bright.
yeah, that's why we're talking a dome
Yeah, yeah.
or a dimmer, and maybe we need to go to 4,000 K instead of 5K. That's
Right.
what we don't know.
That's bright.
It's bright.
Yep.
So, we're still working on that, hopefully I can finish that up.
Okay, anything else?
I haven't had a chance to talk to the Legion, so I wanna talk to them a little bit about the kitchen yet, so
Okay,
I'll try to get that done here in the
Okay.
next few days. But that should be it.
Mr. Simon? I did meet with the Legion the other day, started putting together the Veterans Memorial Park Committee, has started. So they're actually, I think, having a meeting tomorrow on it. I'll be the representative from the city as of right now. They're still, so they've got some plans over there that they're trying to work through, so.
Right, that's where the old courthouse was, right?
The old green building, correct,
Yep.
yeah. So, and more on that as it happens. So, Tim, I was gonna ask you, did you ever find a date for that housing, or that, housing meeting, or?
Yeah, we have, did you get a okay from Donna to be on it also?
Yes.
Okay, yes, we have 5 people on that committee, and I guess I just haven't, we were gonna do it last week and that slipped away.
Right.
But I'll get a hold of the other 2 that are on there.
Okay.
And we'll try and, wanna do something this week?
If we can,
Yep, okay,
soon,
yep, I'll do that,
okay,
yep.
all right.
Am I still on that committee or not?
Should I committee? I don't know.
I don't know,
You mentioned it to me, and I was like,
I've got Tyke Sheldon and Dana Brandt on there now, would you like to be on it?
I know you wanted somebody from Washburn Light.
You're on it.
Okay.
There you go, volunteer, I love it.
She didn't say she wanted to be, right?
Appointed.
Chelsea?
Budget items. Anything, I will need those. That's what I'm gonna start working on the next week. Preliminary is due August 10th. So at our August meeting, it will have to be finalized and approved.
Preliminary, well.
Preliminary, yes. Which we cannot increase our mill levy after that, we can only decrease it. So it's better to be high than low, because we can always cut stuff when it has to be finalized by October 10th. The daycare down here at Tiny Toes was wondering if they can get, now that it's been nice out and school's out, they've had a lot of traffic and fast-going cars down there. If there was any way that they could maybe get like a children at play sign, or look at getting a speed limit sign put up down there so that they are aware that, kind of like the children at play, just because so they know that it's.
The speed limit, would that be all the way from 6th to 8th? I mean, we can't just have it right in front there, I think,
Right, it'd have to go between like that whole block from where,
I mean, I would think it would be like the 2-block area, and then actually up to, like, Main, maybe like a big T for the, if we do a speed limit,
Are you looking at a reduced speed limit?
yeah.
or
And then children
start by,
play
with the
also.
children at play, or yeah, do both. It's just been a concern that they've been having, and with the kids being outside now and more traffic down there, so.
Well, I think, you know, if we're gonna reduce the speed, we have to have a motion on that.
Right.
But we should go from the pool or the playground that way.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Okay,
Yeah.
Eighth and
then
over to 6 from the hill. Oh, I guess that's corner house.
Pardon me?
Would go from like the pool all the way
Yeah.
down.
All the way down, yeah, to, 6th Street.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have
And
any
then-
city
and-
electricity over there where we could maybe put up a flashing yellow light or something with a sign? Do we have anything over there?
Right behind the drugstore, you've got a panel.
Yeah.
Behind the drugstore, there's a panel that used to be where the Carnival would open.
Because I think that would be more appropriate than just having a sign up.
Well, they're also gonna have police presence, you know. So, but the thing is, do we wanna come all the way up from Second up to Main? Oh, no, I don't think we really have to there.
And it's not like it's a through street where you're really gonna be holding people up.
That's true.
You know, running, you turn the corner here, and you turn the corner again down to Leonard's old house. So if you took those 2 blocks, you're not really holding people up much.
So we would go, so just to clarify, so it would be Second Avenue from Sixth Street to Eighth Street.
Correct.
It'd be by Weber's building all the way past, and then stop by the, basically the playground area.
Right.
I wonder if we should extend it all the way to Ninth because of the playground area.
Because the pool.
The pool and playground area.
You might just as well make all 3 blocks.
Yeah, because if somebody's in the campers back there, they have kids running across, because there's an opening there.
Yeah, to get into the playground.
Yeah.
Right.
So what speed
And
limit
that's
we
in
would
the
put in there
middle.
then? 10 miles an hour?
Probably 15.
15?
So I'll make a motion that Second Avenue from Ninth Street to Sixth Street will be down to 15 miles per hour. And we will add, children playing signs.
Do we,
Second that.
do we have enough signs available for that?
We'll get them if we don't. Okay. Do we have a second?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Discussion? You don't have signs?
Not for that.
Okay. Colin?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes. And then you'll notify the police on
Yep.
what our intentions are.
Yeah. So it really won't go into effect until we have signage, correct?
Pretty much.
Yeah, but they-
Do you have any 15 signs?
Yeah.
We used our last one already.
But they can still be aware that there's a pool
Absolutely.
issue down there.
Well, it'll be a little bit extra patrol,
Right.
absolutely.
Yep, I'll do that.
So you get those ordered right away?
Yep, signs are about 3 weeks out.
Tell them we want them to. Okay.
Grab them from some other place.
Okay.
Well, Wilton?
Yeah, works for me.
Going back to Memorial Hall for the keys, just so it's stated that when the form is filled out, and I don't know if we want to change this somehow, but that form is filled out for the time that it's rented, which means that the key is going to be set for 4 p.m. if the hall is rented at 4 p.m. If you want to get in there at 2 p.m., you're not going to be able to get in there. So we've had people telling us that the keys aren't working. This being the issue that the keys are not set up to work till 4 p.m. with the hours that it's on there for it being rented. If they're setting up, do we want to give them an extra hour prior so that if they're only renting it for a half a day, they don't have to rent it for a full day, but they can have that extra hour to be in there to set up or decorate? Because I think that's where the issue lies, is that they only, if they're using, I mean, unless you're gonna have it for a full day, I don't know, but all the complaints have been, well, it's not working, so we go back and look at it, well, they're trying to access to get in at 2 p.m., well, it's not set to work until 4 p.m. because that's what the contract says of being rented at 4 p.m.
Mike?
We can give them a grace period of a half an hour or something like that, but they have to follow the times. If they don't follow the times, it's never done any work.
I think, you know, if you rent it at 2, you don't get in till 2. That's
Yeah.
my opinion. You know, you don't get to go in at 1:30.
Well,
You want to go in at 1:30, you
What,
rent it at 1:30.
what does the form say? I mean, is there something that they, you know, what is the earliest time you need in or something, you know, if it's something, but if they say 2 p.m., okay, that's when you're getting in. It's not a half hour earlier, it's 2 p.m.
So what maybe the mistake, I'm older than you, so I'll forget, and you'll still remember what you were gonna say, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. But maybe there's some confusion, they're just putting down on the form how long their activity's going to be, not taking into consideration that we need an hour to set up.
Yeah.
You know,
And that could be too, and that's where I'm trying, like, okay, I'm like, so now we're saying we have to make it clear. My other option, I guess, for thinking, half a day is considered, I think, like 4 hours. Anything more than that is considered a full day. Do we want to make a half a day 6 hours?
Depends on the time.
And what other event might be in there at that time.
So who's complaining about this? Has this happened this last weekend?
Not this last weekend, no, but it happened to like everybody that wanted to rent the hall over Memorial Day weekend. Well, then we can go back and we can see that when you're trying to use your key to access it, well, it's because you were trying to get in there prior to what this date was set, and that's why we have, I guess, what we switched to this whole key, so then we know when people are in there and leaving, and not just everyone has free access to the hall anymore. But they all went in there 2 hours prior to what their event is
So-
going, and it's,
so-
that's why they're not working. It's not that it's not set up correctly, it's just that they don't have access for that time.
So how did they do it for that, all-school reunion then, in the hall then, when they had their dinner and stuff then?
Well, they had the keys, but the hall was set to unlock pretty much all day so people could get in and out.
Okay.
But it was set up for, Donna got the key, where hers was set up to work so she can go in there, because she goes in at odd hours of the time to do her decorating, so she could get in. But then Saturday, it was set to unlock all day, so that people could go in and out, and it wasn't an issue of using who had a key that day, just because that was the day of the event, and they were set up, and people were going in to look at it and get their tickets prior to the event. So that wasn't an issue.
So what is the rent for a half a day then, for the hall?
What, $100, I think, and then I think it's $150 with the kitchen involved.
So would it help for you to just have people define, okay, tell people, okay, you need to define how long, not only your activity is going to be, but how much time you need for setup to tear down, because that's gonna be figured in the whole
Yes.
scheme of time. That, because I think maybe what people are making a mistake on is, well, we have a wedding reception from 4 o'clock till 8 o'clock, not thinking that, okay, you're gonna put 4 to 8, so we maybe need to start explaining to them, we need to know not only the time of your event's gonna take, but also your preparation and your tear down also, because
Yeah.
that's all figured in the same gamut of time.
Yeah.
Well, we could make a half a day, 6 hours, and that would give them plenty of time then.
I guess it depends on the event.
Huh?
Yeah, depends on the event. how-
Right, yeah, but if they're gonna rent it for 4
Morning,
hours.
afternoon.
What?
If it's in the morning, afternoon, or evening, I mean, you could feasibly have this, half day is 4 hours, you could basically do 3 things if you needed to.
Yep.
So 6 hours, that would pretty much limit you to 2.
Right.
So,
I think we just need to define the times, and if they need in there earlier, they have to specify that.
well, and then if it's over 4 hours, well, I'm sorry. you-
And they're gonna have to pay for that, they're gonna have to pay for that too.
You know what, it's so cheap now, that,
Yes.
but you know how people are, they go, they plan on coming in at 4, but then they're like sitting there going, what am I gonna do for 2 hours? I might as well go down there and start, rather than sitting and waiting. And I think that's why people go down there early.
Would an hourly fee work better?
I would say no, probably, because people are gonna go, I went for a half hour.
So,
Well, come
so
on, you know what's gonna happen.
We give them a key to get into the building then, correct?
Correct.
We give them a card.
Yep.
So, now you said Donna goes down there anytime to decorate, because she's got a card all day, correct?
She did for the event, she does not anymore. It was just because she was decorating for the all-school reunion.
Okay. So, can we give that person that's gonna rent the hall, can we give her an all-day card then, or him an all-day card? And still have the 4 hours that they're gonna rent it for then? Would that work?
No,
You're giving
because-
them all-day access to only rent it for 4 hours.
You're getting 24 hours for $4.
So what if I have 2 events rented that same day, and one X is supposed to be in there for this time, and Y is supposed to be in there for this time, but Y goes in there earlier because our card works, and then it's
I think we should just start.
doubled up?
I think we should put in prep time and tear down time.
Just,
And this
yeah,
is what-
explain in there that your setup time, your tear down time is all part, I mean, you gotta encompass all that, so.
Right, it has
if
to
you're-
fit in that many hours.
If your
If it goes
event is
over
gonna be
4
4
hours,
hours,
just charge it for a full day then.
and you got an hour set up and an hour clean up,
That would
well, that's
work.
6 hours, it's a whole day rental now.
It's cheap anyways.
Okay, I think this has been covered.
Yep. It's enough.
We'll move on.
Twice.
Chelsea, I know you got more.
I do. I have been given a list of curb stops that are not working for residents. So we will be drafting a letter, sending them out, telling them that it is their responsibility to change it. If they do not, are we going to change it out and assess it to their property?
We'll need to do that, we need to tell them that, you know, they have, like, say, 60 days, to get a hold of the city and tell us what their plans are, and then get it done, because, you know, it needs to be explained to them that they have to have a city-approved contractor, licensed city-approved contractor with insurance, otherwise the city is gonna hire somebody and do it, and, assess it to their property, or bill them or assess it to their properties. And we need to follow through with it, I mean, we give them 60 days and that's it.
If our bulk water machine were to happen to go down, do we have an option for a second resort if it quits working up there, especially during the busy time for the farmers? Or if it's something that we need to look at?
Well,
It's been okay, it just happened that one time because the hose froze because it was not put up correctly. We have an issue with receipts printing right now. That needs to be fixed. I think Erica has called that guy twice. I don't believe that he's called back, so that is something we need to look at getting, so that if they need the receipts print, because they're not printing up there, and Adam tried to fix it, but it's internally that we need.
there's always an option of putting a big meter on a hydrant, but we would have to have our own people running it.
Okay.
You know, I mean, where we could hook onto a tanker or truck if for a spray outfit or whatever. It's an option we could look into. It's obviously not the best thing, but, I mean, if people are in dire need, it's something that can be done, I guess. I don't know what else.
At this point, we don't have a meter though, right?
They have a meter that.
We have the meter.
We do have a meter,
And we
okay.
have a pressure reducing valve if that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that we can put on hydrant.
Yeah, you got a check valve, I'm assuming, so it can't flow back.
Not for that, we don't.
Well, I was just curious.
You'd have to use their gas. Or they'd have to have the meter gas on their end, probably.
Just so it can't flow backwards.
Right. Yep.
My last thing, just, because we do have newly elected commissioners coming on next month, but there is a training, all commissioners can attend it, I can send out more information on that when we get it. It is in July, end of July, if any commissioners interested in taking this training.
And that is listed in your,
League of Cities
League of
thing.
Cities book.
And it is
Yeah.
paid for by the city.
Yeah,
Is
city.
that a one-day deal? 2 days?
I believe that one is only one day.
Okay.
I'll look for sure.
It was one day. It was on like the, what, 24th or, no, 20, whatever,
8th or 9th or something like that. I don't know what day that is.
8th or 9th?
28th?
Oh, 28, yeah, right.
I thought it was like maybe that last week, but
Yeah, there you go. You're right.
that's all I have.
I was stopped this morning and somebody asked me if I had seen a vandalism on the, lights that go underneath the highway. So I went up there and, the covers for a lot of them were broken, and a few of them don't work. I'm not entirely sure if that is ours or it's police.
Unfortunately, I think it's ours.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's ours.
I snapped some pictures, I think what did I say, there's 3 of them that are out, I think, and at least most of the covers are broken, even if
Yeah.
they still work.
How many lights are in there? I thought there were only 3 lights in there.
No, there's, 5 or 6, yeah.
I'm pretty sure in the past we have fixed those.
They're LEDs now, so not, it's not like we could switch them out.
So, are they on all the time?
The ones that are on, yeah.
They are. Well, we'll have to look into it and get somebody else to fix it. The ones that are on, are they in the middle or on the ends or?
I think, the only reason the ones that are off is because they're broken, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so might consider putting a cage or something around. But, I mean, they're already so low the way they are. Back before they redid the, tunnel, I could walk underneath them, but now they're almost on my chest at this point. I don't know if putting a cage on it, making it even lower is
Dangerous.
Just more something to aim at with the bat.
Yeah.
It's in the strike zone,
You could have a little,
Maybe you oughta-
signage, security cameras.
Maybe we ought to have a camera in there.
Well,
A remote.
these new cameras have the, where you screw them into a socket, but I doubt if there's one of
There are
those.
no sockets in.
Well, whatever, in these new lights or whatever.
Well, we'll have to look at it and get a price and then go from there.
Yeah. And then because this memorial thing was brought up, it reminded me that at some point, Chelsea and I talked about redesigning the building permit. You have a lot of people that turn in building permits that are not properly done, and it happens all the time.
Well, then you send them back.
We do that, but it happens more often than not. And I think a redesign on that building permit to put a lot of the information up front, and not parsed out throughout the entire building permit would probably be better.
Is it possible to just write up an instruction sheet to hand with that?
That is our plan.
Yeah, just give it that, and that way they can read through it, hopefully they know how to read instructions.
Have at it. Go
The way,
ahead, you guys.
the way it is now is
Yeah.
that the instructions are placed throughout the building permit. A lot of people don't know.
You could do like the county does on their building permits. They're pretty well self-explanatory.
What we probably do is get a bunch of different ones to look at first to start out.
Well, get a county one, start there.
Quick question, there's a light pole down up by the wagon wheel?
The state knows about it. I
Okay,
don't know what
I
they're.
just-
Ours.
She's knocked down all the way.
Okay. 'Cause we told the state.
We
about
need to
it.
get that fixed.
It's ours.
It's ours.
Okay, yeah, they didn't say. it.
Apparently the light still works.
No, the light.
Yeah, I was told the light lights up.
There's no light on the pole that's laying on the ground out there. They're
Well,
mowing
the
around.
light's still there. It's just dangling from the wire over a little further. I was
Uh-huh.
told the light still works.
I'll have to go look at that.
Were you talking about the one by the
Well,
wagon wheel, right?
yeah.
By the wagon wheel, that pole's down and there's nothing on the end out there and they're mowing around it.
No, but there's a wire what goes to the light. That's what I was told.
I didn't even see the light.
That also reminds me, there's a pole right next to the cemetery by Senex for some reason. I don't know who that is, if that's all it is.
That false one, when they redid everything, they
The
just
metal one, yeah.
left,
Those are ours.
left
Just
the
laying there.
Yeah, those are ours. There's one on the other side, I think by that substation too.
Are we supposed to pick those up, or?
Yeah, they were gonna haul them for us, but they never did. They kept put them on. So yeah, those are, we need to go get them.
Okay, I mean, that's pretty large. We don't really have anything to carry.
Talk to Chris, just put it in the dump deal.
Dump deal.
Well, he has a long trailer, so.
Yeah, in Long Trail. He has the dump trailer too. It should fit
Side,
in there.
side dumper, I think.
Yeah, it should fit in there.
We got flat things, put it on there, whatever. Yeah, those are ours. Need to go to the compound.
So are we gonna patch some streets yet this summer?
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
We're not gonna tar, but we'll patch.
No, I mean patching.
Yeah. That's the plan.
Because we got some holes around the city.
Usually you don't patch streets till the fall.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we wanna get put on their list, so we're on that list, when it, rather than wait till fall and then he's booked up?
You should call it quality asphalt.
Just to kinda let him know what we're looking at, just so he can put it in his book, so we're not.
Yeah, you wanna give them a call?
We should probably get a list together before I call him.
Well,
Yeah.
just say, we're gonna have a list coming up, just at least say, we're gonna need some work done. That way at least he knows. And it might be sooner than later, we'll just get a list together. You just want your road fixed.
I've been keeping that clean, I've been out there brooming it and keeping the.
That wouldn't surprise me.
All right, anything else?
Get a plank,
I do
yeah,
have
come
one
on.
other thing.
Yes.
Have we checked the beaver issue?
Still there.
Still there? Okay.
So nobody's gotten a hold of that guy or whatever?
No, and I know Eric has tried calling him again too, so I'll try to figure out another route or how we can.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get that handled pretty quick.
Yeah,
Cooley here and on the other side.
give me permission, I'll take care of him.
Go for it.
If you can find him.
I can find him,
Find
go
him.
for it.
Well, can I discharge a firearm until you limit?
Yes.
Well, you have a bow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, use your bow. Use your bow.
Cody doesn't want to trap it because the trap he has could kill a dog. So he doesn't want to set the trap that he has.
Probably he's got a conibear or
We've
something.
asked him this last go around down here, but the trap he has could kill an animal if it were to get in there. So he was a little leery about doing that.
Well, we need to get that handled pretty damn quick here, because it's been going on for a while.
Can I put up a tree stand?
So I need to bring up,
Owen, you have permission to go in there with your bow, okay? You realize there's probably more than one.
I'd like to take one of my submachine guns now.
Anything else? Anybody, Rhonda?
I had someone call and ask about the electric box by 7th Street and Highway 83. They were wondering if it was owned by the city or by Otter Tail. They would like it to be painted.
Can't
or-
paint it. I already checked.
Okay.
I've been talking with Clay on what we can do with that, because it's really, really ugly. I suggested, many different things. Even, like putting a little wooden box around it, you know, if you lift it off, and he assured me that their regulations are, you do nothing with those things, so.
The person that asked me said that they had one in their yard and they painted it, so she was willing to. Okay, so
You know
then
what?
leave it alone.
You know what, that's,
She didn't ask permission.
No.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I was
if somebody
thinking.
does something,
Nobody knows she did it.
you know, and
they do now.
find out about it.
Well,
I mean, Clay would never turn anybody in, but
No.
if the head guy found out about it, he would be upset. You're not allowed to do anything to them.
Just name a card for it.
I know a blue one.
Yes, there you go.
Anything else, anybody? Bills. Everybody have a chance to review the bills?
Motion to pay the bills.
Second?
Colin?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes. Yes. Next meeting, reorganizational meeting on July 11th. Everybody remember to get your budget items in as soon as you can to Chelsea. Shut up, Colin. That meeting adjourned.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. You know what, he might be back.